Good evening. Welcome to tonight's episode of Film Noir Fridays. This evening I am going to be talking about the movie The Postman Always Rings Twice. Now I'm talking about the 1946 version, not the 1980s version. Now this, like I said, came out in 1946. It's directed by Tay Garnett, starring Lana Turner, John Garfield, Cecil Calloway, and Audrey Totter, to name a few. The plot: torn between their desperate need to be together and a desire for money, a drifter and the wife of a gruff roadhouse owner plot a doomed murder. Notes: in 1981, there was a remake of this film that was apparently trash and poorly received. Lana Turner wasn't in the remake and did not watch it. She said she had seen advertisements and blurbs on television that made her sick. She resented now that the studio, quote, turned it into such pornographic trash, unquote. This movie is also based on a book of the same name by James M. Cain, if you're a book lover like I am. I thought about trying to find the book, and I still think I might. So, my favorite quote from the film. Cora says, quote, "Too bad Nick took the car," unquote. Frank says, "Even if it was here, we couldn't take it unless we wanted to spend the night in the jail. Stealing a man's wife, that's nothing. But stealing a man's car, that's larceny," unquote. So here's my thoughts. The beginning is a good setup. However, as the movie unfolds, I find the characters just don't make any sense. They go from normal drifter to a scheming murderer, and it just doesn't match up. Also, Cora, a total sex kitten, marries an old diner owner, and it just doesn't make any sense. I also found it dragging on and slow. Not any suspense or intrigue. In fact, right down boring. Not a fan of this one. That's why I said I'm on a hunt for the book. I think the book might be a bit better than this film. Now, I know this is a film noir, a very popular one. It's a fan favorite. I'm just not a fan. That's my personal opinion. And another reason I say that it doesn't add up is because like I said, you've got this total sex kitten, and then she marries this big, overweight, sloppy, gruff diner owner. And it just doesn't make any sense. None of it does. The whole movie just kind of takes a turn. Like, you think you know what's going to happen at first, and, it is kind of predictable there at first, but then it takes a change. And then once it changes in the middle of the film, you're like, what? This doesn't make sense. And then by the end of the film, you're like, wow, okay, that didn't make any sense whatsoever, but okay, I'll go with it. So, that's my opinions of The Postman Always Rings Twice. Like I said, it's a movie that came out in 1946, but it is based off of a book by the same name by James M. Cain, once again. That's going to conclude tonight's episode of Film Noir Fridays. Please stay tuned next week for another episode.